Hi, I'm Jeff Addai, and you're listening to the Step Over podcast.
I'm joined by Jeff Addai, who's from Ottawa, playing professionally in Finland. Now, I know I won't say the name of the town and team you're playing for correctly if I don't hear from you first. So, would you mind letting the good listener know who it is that you're playing with?
Yeah, currently I'm playing in Lappeenranta as the city, and the club is called PEPO.
So, PEPO recently won a title, and so on social media, like on the podcast account, I congratulated you and your teammate, who is another Ottawa native, Zachary Secunda, on
Yes.
winning. Now, was that like a league competition or like a separate competition that the team won?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was awesome. I did see your congratulations. We appreciate that for sure. And that was basically like a league cup, as you would
Okay.
say, as you would call it. Yeah. So it was the first ever the clubs won, the first ever title that they won in this, and we
Oh,
were able to
wow.
win the league cup. And then actually we were able to get promoted to the basically the first division, which is the second tier here in Finland, also last year. So it was a successful season.
Oh, that's fantastic. So what was it like? What was that like winning that cup?
Honestly, it was amazing. It's just something different with winning silverware in Europe. The city was fully supportive. I just remember after winning, like just the town after it, because Lappeenranta is more of a small town, and just kind of the celebrations we had with the team and the locals was an unbelievable feeling. So definitely feel super accomplished from winning it, and now it just kind of makes you as a player strive for more bigger titles, more titles that you want to win.
So the town is called Lappeenranta.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And like how much of a soccer like football town, is that?
Honestly, so Lappeenranta here, we kind of like border Russia, really really close to Russia. Huge for hockey. It's really big for hockey. So being from Ottawa, I'm used to it. They're always asking me about the Senators, but football,
Really?
soccer, so yeah, for sure. But football, soccer here has been definitely been building. There's now starting to invest a lot, especially with our team in soccer, and they're definitely trying to really grow the sport here. So it's kind of a good time to be here and awesome to be a part of. And they really treat us well as players here, especially
Okay.
foreigners. So we've been enjoying it, myself and Zach, of course.
Right on. Yeah. So, there's two Ottawa natives playing for Peppo. Like was that a
Yeah.
weird coincidence or was there already like a connection that brought you two together there?
Honestly, what happened was me and Zach were both playing in Finland the season before for different teams. I was
Okay.
playing for VPS, he was playing for another team, and then he went there. And basically, it was the kind of the COVID period, and I didn't re-sign to the club, and I was kind of going to another club, and I was supposed to travel, I think it was Germany, like maybe a week after, and I kind of was going to solidify a deal. And Zach actually messaged me because we're actually good friends from Ottawa, and he said, "Hey, like I see you're in Finland right now. Like, why don't you come train here? Even if you're going, like, come check it out." And I was like, and I saw on social media about the club, and I knew about the club. It's well respected in Finland, so I was like, okay, for sure, I'll check it out. But then in my mind, I was gonna leave after it. But once I got there and kind of Zach really sold me on the club, and actually just being there, I absolutely loved it. And then I decided to play the second half of the season, and I wouldn't regret it for anything because it ended up being an amazing season where obviously we won that title and we got promoted, and also for my own career, it really helped elevate me and kind of my name here in Finland. And it's been a team that I've appreciated being a part of. So Zach always holds it. Hey, remember I got you here. So I always appreciate Zach for that. And obviously being from Ottawa, that's awesome. But I'm happy to be here and happy kind of how it all happened.
Oh, that's cool. So
Mhm.
yeah, you've been in Finland since 2020, I think.
Yeah, 2020. I think it was right before the pandemic.
Yeah. So I've never been to Finland. Like what's it been like living there?
Honestly, it's so easy to live here because it's so similar to Canada, especially Ottawa. Very cold in the winters, but extremely beautiful in the summers. People are out, lively. Most people here can speak English as well. They understand the Canadian culture and are very interested about it. So they love to ask questions, and they're super friendly and make you feel welcome. And in terms of like the lifestyle, it's similar to growing up in Ottawa. with obviously the culture of hockey, the culture of sports, and also just how they live. So, and also how the economy is it's very good. So it's really easy being a player from Canada to kind of come into Finland and kind of really get assimilated into the country.
So it sounds like most people speak English there. Like, have you picked up any Finnish while you've been there?
Honestly, because when I was in my last club in Finland, it was more of a Swedish speaking town. It's just been really difficult to pick up the language. I could get by here and there. I can't really speak anything. I think this is my going on my third year here in Finland. So this year I'm really gonna try to learn as much as possible. I've already been trying to practice, getting the Duolingo apps out, trying to see how much I can learn. But it's a really difficult language, to be honest.
Are there any words that you've gotten down that you're kind of proud that you nailed?
Maybe the name of my street, Hupakantu. Every time I'm in a taxi to even say the name of my street, it's so hard. The names are so long. So the fact that I could just say the name of my street so I could get home if I'm ever need a ride, that I'm proud of that.
It's a good start.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
All right. So this is a Ottawa soccer podcast. So like you're from Ottawa originally. What part of town did you grow up in?
Originally, I was born more in the Nepean area. I grew up in Draken Court. And then when I was about maybe 13, I was able to get out of that center area of Ottawa and move to Canada. And then
Okay.
my family, we were raised in Canada from kind of 12, 10 onwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you have any like favorite hangout spots?
Favorite hangout spots at Ottawa, I guess now I love Moxie's. I think I love to go to Moxie's, Canada. That's a good place for me.
It's a good patio.
Lansdowne is always good, especially from playing with the Fury before. It's a good area to be in, and I think those are some good spots I enjoy to go to. And then obviously my shawarma spots when I'm back home.
Okay.
Always going to those.
So this is contentious. Where is your best shawarma spot?
The Bayshore area for sure. Anywhere in the Bayshore area is where I feel you get the best shawarmas.
That's like
Yeah,
shawarma central there.
yeah, 100%.
Okay, right on.
Mhm.
All right. So growing up, like, what was your first introduction to soccer?
Growing up, well, my dad played when he was my age, and he was playing in Ghana. And obviously, my parents immigrated to Canada and to Montreal first, and then to Ottawa. So I kind of followed his footsteps. And my brother, at the time, my brother was playing for Nepean City, well, club that's not been there in Ottawa right now. It's a bunch of different clubs now, but he was playing for Nepean City, and then I grew up and started off at Nepean City playing. And I think I really loved the sport and kind of followed the footsteps of my family and kind of just continued to develop from there.
And did you play anything else as well as soccer, or was that like it for you?
In terms of like club, it was always soccer. But in high school, I attended Holy Trinity High School in
Yeah.
Canada, and I played football and I played basketball and several of other sports. But those were the two premier sports that I really excelled at as well.
Okay.
Mhm.
And like when it came to soccer, would you say that you always had a knack for it, or like was there a period where like you really had to work at it to get good?
I think it was kind of ingrained in me from a young age with my brother playing and my dad as well. But I think I was always one of the top players in the city. But I think really I really developed more after U12 when I hit 13. I was playing with OSU, and we had an amazing team. Probably broke a lot of records in the city, and basically that year and the years following that, I think that's when I really noticed that, hey, I think I could do this long term, and I'm happy to be doing it still.
Yeah. So what point like did you decide that like yeah you wanted to take soccer like a bit more seriously and maybe pursue even a career there?
Yeah, I think for sure. I think since I was young, I think I oh if you ask my kindergarten teacher, I probably wrote I want to be a professional soccer player. I think it was always there, but I think when I really took it seriously and thought like, hey, I could definitely do this, and I think I could make a career out of this, or at least go to university, is when I turned 13. and I was with OSU. With the level of our team, I was the captain of the team at that time, and we had all the best players my age group in the city, and we had amazing players. And I think from there, myself and even the other players on the team all thought that we could do something from it, just from the success we were getting. So from 13 onwards, I think that's always been my goal.
So you played with OSU, I guess until like university, right?
Yeah.
So like around that age, like for players who want to pursue a pro career, especially players from Canada, my understanding is that the path kind of gets a little muddled. Like everyone kind of like, has to find their own way, right? Especially in that like 18 to 23 range. What was your path to becoming a professional?
Yeah, I think it's super difficult being from Ottawa, out of all places. Even Toronto, they have more opportunities than us, especially the time when I was growing up and playing. But for me, the path was I was able to attend university, and then went to the University of South Carolina, which was a Division I program. And from there, I had a good career. We did well, and then from there, I was able to basically get connected to the Ottawa Fury, and that was my first experience of professional soccer. So it's great that I was able to be in the local setup of the city. And at that time, Mark Dos Santos was the coach. Phil Dos Santos was coaching the academy, and I came into the academy, and then they actually gave me a contract to the first team. And the environment then was amazing. There was some top players there. Richie Ryan, Julian de Guzman was on the team at that time, and he was vital with my career. Kind of because after Ottawa, I went to Germany, and he was part of that. And
Really?
basically, I think that the city did a lot for me being in that organization and being able to still play professionally now. I think it was definitely because of that university experience that I had, taking that pathway and then playing for the local professional team. And then from there, I was able to go abroad to Germany through literally the connection of my teammate Julian. So that's kind of how my professional career took shape.
That's really interesting. And like I certainly didn't realize that, the impact of being with the Fury Academy and becoming friends with Julian de
Yeah,
Guzman.
Julian.
Would you mind expanding a bit on that? Like, what did he do for you, and like, how did he make that connection that got you over to Europe?
Yeah. So what happened was after university, I came back to Ottawa, and I was playing at first with the academy team. And then the opportunity came when I was able to sign a contract with the first team. And when I was training there, I guess near the end of the season or the next season when we were training, I think Julian was on the team. He was one of the captains of the team, and he kind of knew my ambitions and kind of saw that there was opportunity for me to go to Germany, where he had a lot of connections to. And he connected me to a close of his, whose name is Victor, who ended up actually coaching in Ottawa a few years later
Oh,
as an
cool.
assistant. And he actually got me to a team called Mannheim, a really prestigious club in that city. And I thought it was an amazing experience for me. And so I really appreciate those guys for that. My experience there, I think, developed me like crazy as a player, and kind of really understanding the market and how professional football works overseas, not just here in North America. And I think through that experience, it helped really elevate my career, because after that, I was able to play there. And after that, I was able to go back to North America and play in the USL Championship for Tulsa, where I was a vice captain at the time there. And I think if it wasn't for those experiences I had there, I wouldn't have been able to take such a bigger steps in my career, and then now be able to play in Finland.
So you're a professional footballer, but that's not all you do. I've started to see posts being shared of a Ottawa-based sports management organization. So it's called One Performance Sports Management, and that's you. You're the co-founder of it. Can you tell us a bit about what OPSM One Performance is, and as well as how and why you started it?
Yeah. So basically, at first, it was actually called Ottawa Pro Sports Management, and it was completely founded by myself and my brother. He's the other co-founder of the organization. And growing up in Ottawa, we found at the time there wasn't really much opportunity for players who were looking to get into university or even looking for extra training. That's really how it started. And we didn't create a business right from the beginning. It was more, we were just training local players, using our connections and network that we had in university. And first, we're just helping players get into university and get scholarships. And then from there, we were like, it really kind of happened really organically when me and my brother were like, hey, like, don't you think we could do more of this? Like, we're helping a lot of players. And to the point where it took all of our time, we're like, hey, maybe we can make a business out of this and still help players from our city. So we actually called the company Ottawa Pro Sports Management. And then at first, we were really just focused on helping players train, get that individual training that it kind of wasn't really a thing in Ottawa at the time. And we kind of noticed it more when we were in Europe, and we're like, hey, we could really help people who are playing already with clubs kind of get that extra edge amongst their competition. And that's something we as kids always look for, but we always had each other to train each other. But what we noticed is these kids and these parents really didn't have always like that big brother to help train their son or their daughter at that time. So we were literally training players and then helping them get into college and university. And then we had a crazy amount of success with that. And then when we really built up the people who were working with us, a lot of the clientele were like, there has to be an easier way to get all the players seen. And me and my brother, when we were kind of at that age when we were trying to go professional, we participated in combines. So we actually threw a combine in Ottawa where we got around 20 to 30 college coaches and had a bunch of players kind of compete from all different clubs. So from West Ottawa, OSU, Futuro, Ottawa TFC, literally Gloucester, all the clubs, and Nepean Hotspurs, like all the clubs literally came together, sent their players. And it's our 5th year doing these combines in Ottawa, where we've been able to help a lot of players showcase themselves and kind of facilitate deals for them to get scholarships across North America. And kind of from building the company from Ottawa, it kind of really expanded more than we ever thought it would. We never really expected to where it would be at today, where now we're representing around 25 professional players across North America, Europe, and Asia. And basically also we've been able to help over 200 players sign contracts in college scholarships or even semi-professional scholarships. So the organization now changed the name to One Pro Sports Management just because of the network, kind of how much it grew, and the agency, how much it grew. And now my brother, actually Godwin, at first he was playing when the organization happened, but now he's a licensed agent. So now he's a full-time agent and full-time in the business. And for me, I play obviously professional soccer here, but 100% full-time, working with OPSM, working with players, and continuing to basically network, build connections, and continue to try to provide pathways for as many players as we can who kind of come our way.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like, I mean, that's fantastic. And yeah, it sounds like it's, one thing that I've noticed certainly in the last, like really just the last few years is just a few more direct pathways or like the pathways available for young players becoming a bit more clear, at least a bit more like laid out, like, and the opportunities. And OPSM, that sounds like it's playing a big role in providing more opportunities for young players.
Yeah, and that's the goal of the company. We believe that there's multiple pathways for every player. There's so many ways that you can make it as a collegiate athlete or even a professional athlete. But basically what we just try to do is provide more pathways for the people originally from our city and now worldwide for them to be able to make it, as long as we feel they are mentally prepared, technically, tactically, and physically. That's kind of the 4 pillars our company was based off, the philosophy. We try to build athletes, and then from there, it's up to them if they're able to kind of be seen and have the opportunity to be able to take it. So we just try to develop players. That's really the focus and the model of the company right now, developing players so that when opportunities do come, they're able to seize it. So that's been able to give us a lot of success through the players. So we're happy, and we're just continuing to do things as they come. And obviously it keeps growing. We don't know how, we don't know where, but we just want to keep helping.
That's great. Have you ever had any teammates that find out that you have the sports management company and like come to you and say like, hey, can you help me out?
Yeah, multiple times, and it's funny how it happens. So at first, when I was at Tulsa, literally, I think maybe 4 or 5 players now were with the agency, signed to the agency, and we were able to continue to help and are still working with the company today. And actually, funny story, my goalkeeper here actually was like, he found out through Zach, actually. He's like, the player told, the player's like, hey, you're with OPSM, but thinking like I'm just a player from OPSM. And he's all the way in Finland. He's like, yeah, that's amazing. How is that agency reached out to me? And then Zach heard the way he was talking. He's like, that, that Jeff's like the co-founder. My teammate didn't even understand what Zach was saying. And then as soon as he found out, he was laughing and then showed me a message from like a year before from one of our representatives messaging him, basically talking to him, trying to working to recruit him into the agency. So he couldn't believe that OPSM was co-founded by me. And it's funny, and now we're talking, he wants to work with the company and kind of be represented. He's a good top player too. So it'll be great to have him.
That's fantastic. You had mentioned those combines, so I think for me, I don't know what goes into them really. Like I hear about people going to combines, young players going to combines, but like what goes into organizing one, and like are there different outcomes that you and players hope to get out of them?
Yeah, for sure. So I guess to answer the first part of the question is basically how basically we run them is we try to get coaches to come to one centralized location that's easy to get players to in order to showcase themselves. Because right now a lot of coaches get films and videos of players, but it's hard to sign a player straight off a video or straight off a recommendation or straight off a resume or CV. So that final push in order to really take that player seriously is kind of being able to see them in person and really understand how they play. So basically what we do is we try to get as many coaches as possible to a place and try to get the best players out there in order to compete against each other in front of these coaches. And then from there, our outcome and the players' outcome is we're hoping for as many people to be able to showcase their talent and be able to get opportunities to go to these universities and teams, or if there's professional coaches and scouts there, be able to get seen by professional coaches and scouts. And even though we're agency, we always bring other agents to come be involved because we understand the importance of having agents and people who are representatives who could also help these players reach their goals through a different pathway. So we're really open on working with other agencies too, who we always bring out to our combines to help provide as many pathways for the players as possible.
What does the rest of 2022 look like for One Performance?
Yeah, so the rest of 2022 is basically more events. You'll see that there's going to be more cases, combines in certain locations. There's going to be a launch of something we feel that could really help accelerate a lot of players' journeys, kind of through technology I can't really say too much right now, but that will be coming also soon. Okay. And then a lot of partnerships and signings that will be coming. So we have a lot kind of planned for 2022 that we've been holding. So I'm really hoping that all of the things could come to pass and we could just continue growing and helping more people.
All right, we'll keep us posted on all that. Before I let you go, I do have a few quick questions for you, okay? First question, what's your favorite sport besides soccer?
Football. It'd have to be American football.
Okay. Your favorite team in football? American football.
Before it was Patriots, but now it's Buccaneers.
You're a Brady guy.
Brady. I'm 100% a Tom Brady guy.
Like, were you happy that he came back there?
So happy. I heard the announcement. I think, I heard the announcement and I couldn't believe him. Actually, my brother sent it to me and I was ecstatic. I was really happy.
Did you have a favorite soccer team when you were growing up?
Yeah, still to this day, it's Manchester United. I absolutely loved Paul Scholes as a midfielder growing up. And now my favorite player probably I like to watch is Paul Pogba. So Manchester United is the team I support since I ever watched football.
Okay. What's your favorite soccer field in Ottawa?
That's a great question. It has to be Shetland Park. It's a field in Canada, kind of private in the back, and I do a lot of training there when I'm home because it's near my parents' house. So Shetland Park is a place close to my heart.
Shetland Park, what part of Canada is that?
Bridlewood.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah. Who has had the biggest impact on your career so far?
It'd have to be my older brother. We kind of were at the journey together. He inspired me and he's supported me through my career. He's my agent and representative at this point. So for sure, he's the one who inspired me to be where I'm at now and to continue going.
What's your favorite food?
My favorite food. I had this question asked me recently, but it's my mom's chicken and rice. Like my mom could cook amazing home cooked meals. So anytime my mom cooks a nice good chicken, some rice on the side, that's for sure my favorite meal.
So my next question was going to be like, where's your favorite place to get that food? But I guess it's going home to mom.
Going home with mom for sure, 100%.
Yeah. What's the better halftime snack? Oranges or watermelon?
Ooh, I don't want to be part of the stereotype, but I think for watermelon for sure. I remember being young, and when you'd get the watermelon, those would be the best ones. The parents would bring the oranges.
Those are the parents you really liked, right? Like, oh, they brought watermelon.
Yes,
they brought yeah.
The ones who brought the watermelons, those were
everyone brings oranges. You want the watermelon sometimes.
Yeah, 100%.
Right on. And my last question for you: what's a fact about you, or like an interest of yours, that most people wouldn't know about you without getting to know you really well?
A great question. I guess without really getting to know me, I don't think you'd know really how fascinated I am about business, about learning new things. I studied sociology in college and university, and I'm really fascinated about it and just how society works and how cultures get together. And I think that's something a lot of people might not know about me.
Right on. Well, that's all the question I got for you, Jeff. Thank you so much. Like, what's the finish season? Is it in the middle of it right now, or like what's that like
right now? We're preseason. We start April 18th, the kickoff of the game, and then it ends in October. So we're right in the mix of really getting ready and prepared. We have an exhibition match again in 2 days from now. So it's been crazy, draining and tiring. So excited, but it's super excited to get into the season and show what we have.
Awesome. All right. Well, Jeff, good luck. And thanks for joining.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, man. I appreciate all you do for the city.